the current drought situation, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chair, I don't know whether this county assembly had appropriated stipend for CADRs. I remember last time there was a bill or a law which was passed in this honorable house to motivate the CADRs in this county. Mr. Chair, I also want to inquire with the CEC on the same, on whether there is that stipend that the CADRs are receiving. Because I know the CHPs are supposed to receive that same stipend of 3,000 from the county government and probably 2,500 from the national government. We also want to confirm with the CEC whether the CADRs in the county, those are officers who are helping us to get information about how our livestock and everything to do with this department is going on machinani. We want to know whether they are receiving this stipend, if it was appropriated by this honorable house, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, finally, on the issue of the county is underway. You see, this is why I said that we have a problem. When you say that the county is underway, Mr. Chair, today we are in which month? We are in the month of March. And we are only remaining with only 2 months and some days for the financial year to conclude, Mr. Chair, or to end. But the response that we are getting is that the county is underway to distribute. Mr. Chair, how did the CEC quantify the 1650? And even the procurement process has not been concluded. Mr. Chair, how did he quantify the 1650 and even the contractor who is supposed to supply these range cubes has not been identified? That is what the CEC said. How did he quantify the 1650? And you see, Chair, we are being told that the county government is underway. But if you see the response that we're being given by development partners, we are being told IRC have already done. We are being told Concern Worldwide have already done. We are being told there's this other development partner, Concern Worldwide, IRC, then I have seen Tupado. Mr. Chair, this intervention should not be only for development partners. The county government should speed the issue of procuring these range cubes, Mr. Chair, because this house appropriated 10 million for this department to procure these range cubes. So we want to know, Honorable CC, when is the tender going to be awarded? And when is the contractor bringing these 1650 bags of range cubes? Because it is still underway. We should know when. Because we want these range cubes to reach into different parts of this county. And Mr. Chair, I want to raise a serious concern. You see, I don't dispute the fact that the county government procures range cubes. But the criteria of ensuring these range cubes reach our respective areas is a challenge, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, when these range cubes are being flagged off at our respective offices, when they are being flagged off, Mr. Chair, if you get information on how these range cubes are distributed down there, Mr. Chair, there is a lot of issues. And that is what we want the CC to consider this time round. If you receive these 1650 bags of range cubes, we should know the areas which development partners have not targeted. There are areas which development partners have not given any support. So this support must go directly to areas where development partners haven't done anything. And Mr. Chair, most of these range cubes, when they get to our respect to the headquarters here, the challenge is it is being put here, and a few people who have connection, probably myself as the MCA, might have good relationship with the CC. Mr. Chair, we end up taking away the range cubes in headquarters, and this range cube doesn't reach the hardly affected person. Mr. Chair, all of us are pastoralists, even up to including myself. I keep livestock at my home. So the priority should not be about people who are well off. An MCA can get range cube in a town, in a shop in town. Probably someone, a county government officer, can get range cubes. He can buy range cubes in town. But Mr. Chair, we have that vulnerable person, that vulnerable pastoralist, who cannot procure that range cube. So Mr. Chair, I am raising a concern on if the county government distributes this, gets this 1650, we are asking the CEC that it should target the areas where development partners have not reached. And Mr. Chair, you see again.
Honorable Member, be observant of time.
I'm concluding. I'm just in the last point. On 1650 bags of range cubes, the county government is projecting to distribute this to 3,200 households. And if you check the Concern Worldwide, the bags of range cubes that they have already procured, Concern Worldwide have already procured 6,660 bags of range cubes, which the CEC have confirmed. They were supposed to be flagged off today, but because he attended this session, it's going to be flagged off within the week. You can see Concern Worldwide are distributing 6,600 bags to 3,000 households, meaning they are giving each and every household probably 2 bags per household. But if you see on our side, on the county government, 1650 bags of range cubes to 3,200 households. That one tells you that the county government will be providing every 2 households 1 bag of range cube, Mr. Chair. And you see the development partner is providing probably 2 bags per household. So that one tells us, not only the county executive committee member, that one tells even this honorable house that we need to increase monies that is supposed to procure the range cubes in this county, Mr. Chair. So you can see that the figures are not lying. If the county government gets 1650, they give 3,200. Because the money we have appropriated, 10 million, is not sufficient to get a large amount of range cubes. And in this issue of the national government delivering 8,923 bales of hay to the county, and each sub-county is expected to receive at least 1,000 bags of hay. This one we say thank you to the government of His Excellency Dr. William Ruto for ensuring that at least we have these 8,923 bags. I can confirm in Lokichar, which is the ward that I represent, 400 bags were distributed, I think, last week in Aseliad in Lokichar. But the criteria, I'm still questioning the criteria. The criteria that was used even to distribute the 400 bags, Mr. Chair, was not right. You see, watu walikuwa, let me use Kiswahili because it's a language that we need to use in this house. Mr. Chair, watu walikuwa wanang'ang'ania hiyo hay cubes. Those 400 bags were sufficient even to support probably 800 households if good procedure was given in Lokichar to support even specific villages. But you see, Mr. Chair, if you bring a lorry to Aseliad, where people were doing fundraiser last week on Saturday, you bring a lorry to Aseliad where we have Wachuruzi, what do you expect them to do? Everybody will carry his or her own bag, and other people may not get these hay,
conclude
these bales of hay that the national government was providing. So there is need of coordination between the livestock development officers at the sub-county, with the sub-county, with the DCC, and probably with the sub-county administrators, on ensuring that this support that you are receiving from the national government is reaching to our people on the right time. But thank you to CEC for the response. I can see most of them are evidence-based, and you are getting data from CABS county data. You are giving data from, you're saying that you're getting it from the CABS national Vs. You are also giving your response that you are giving your data. But on mortality rates, we need to know the tools that you're using to get that information. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Samuel. Honorable members, we've also received a response from County Executive Member, Public Services and Administration. So I would ask that maybe a response, and then he gives a comment briefly, and then we react. Will that be in order? Instead of, because we are taking it like, yes, just all the honorable members should take a note of the questions asked or to be asked, so that we first hear from the member public services, and then we react at once. Thank you.
Chairman.
CCM.
Chairman.
Him first to respond, and then I come to you. No, I wanted they responded once, and then we give the feedback after he has given the comment. It will confuse you guys, yeah? Okay, okay. This is now the challenge we are getting when all of them are appearing at the same time. So let's first deal with CCM Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries, and then as we conclude. So, Honorable Abdifata.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry, members, I want us to go straight to the point so that we save on time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when we explain further, it will even dilute the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be precise. My concern lies on the mortality rates. Second, on weekly reports, surveillance reports. And third, on the trained officers who give out the disease surveillance on weekly basis. Honorable Chair, it is true that the department have done a lot. I just came from my home yesterday, and I acknowledge the distribution of the 8,923 bales of hay to the livestock. What I saw from the ground, it's true that the livestock have lost their weight as a result of this dry spell, and the diseases are rampant, particularly the so-called Moho, Loukoi, and the lumpy skin diseases are rampant in the areas along Loquanamo ranges. Honorable Chair, I disagree with concern worldwide with the kind of vaccination they claim to have done in the wards of Keris and Nakalale. Animals based in Nakalale and Keris are no longer there. Most of those animals are along the Loquanamo and Loquanamo ranges, the eastern side and the western sides. If this was done, people from my herd will have benefited because they graze with them in one area. There are no animals around Keris because the area is dry, extremely dry. It's only yesterday that they received some showers. Now, when I hear that the worldwide concern undertook some vaccination of 6,000 shots against the PPR in the wards of Keris and Nakalale, which animals were they treating? When my ward is hosting more than 10,000 shots in that area. The other concern I want to raise is on the issue of officers reporting on this diseases surveillance. Honorable Chair, maybe the CCM can elucidate much on this because we do not have these officers in the area where I come from. I haven't seen anyone. There before, we used to have the early warning officers who do report on monthly or weekly basis. But there are no such officers appointed or selected in my wards to have reported on this. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, Chair, on the issue of mortality rates. When the CCM was giving us the responses, he said the mortality rates are below 10%. I do not know we came to this 10%. Maybe you can explain as Lomodo demanded it. But to me, what I saw yesterday, in a flock of almost 80 shots, 35 died in a day. I saw it and I witnessed. Because when they received this little shower yesterday, they become more, and then they began dying They just get out and they die. So the reports are getting from 100 shots or 80 shots, 30 or 40% get die. Now, how do we estimate this percentage to be 10%? So, Honorable Chair, I tend to think the percentage claimed by the CCM to be below 10% or more of that percentage. That's what I presume. Because the shots along Loquanamo regions did not benefit when the vaccination done by Tupado, which was done in the areas of Loima and South Turkana. But those areas did not benefit. And that's why their animals are dying of diseases. Fuel diseases, not nja as claimed. They have vegetation because we have shrubs, they are summer wet, but what is killing them is diseases. There's this disease, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you could be knowing because you are an officer. That's your field. They are bloody along the ribs of the animals when they, I don't know what can we say about that. They say it's low. That's what they refer. Maybe the doctor will now explain to us that is what is killing the animals along Loquanamo ranges. And it's rampant. But yesterday, I witnessed an household with more than 100 shots, 40 getting death. Now, if that's a single household, how could we now estimate the other households? How many could we have lost in the other household within that vicinity, Honorable Chair? Maybe the Tari can explain much on that. And to my advice, I wanted him to respond on that issue with immediate effect because those animals we are losing them. Thank you.
A leader of minority.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I'm just trying to raise a concern because members, we have decided to deal away with the CCM for agriculture because I know these questions are very sensitive and all of us, we want to contribute. I thought we will allow even the CCM for Department of Disaster to answer this question. So that, because I want to believe that if you can go in that direction of going away with one CCM, it means that maybe after his questions, we'll allow him to leave. Or otherwise, I'm just getting some confusion. Another issue concern, Honorable Speaker, Chair, I think we need to go through our report. I don't know, there's something I was reading in, I'm not against what Honorable Dupata was asking, but as I was reading in my iPad, I saw something like the county government in collaboration with the worldwide, they are underway to go and treat or to, there's something of 600,000. I don't know if it is already done or, to me, I thought it is that they are preparing to do that. So, Honorable Speaker, Chair, and then again for the members, let's try to give the direct questions. Because if you can go to so many stories, we will lose the meaning, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Leader of Minority. The reason why we said we should deal with one department is to be so precise so that we are able to get the content right. And that one does not mean the CCM for public services will not respond. During his time, when he does the presentation, there will be an open quorum for every member to interrogate. And on regard to the data, this is why we are here. We are trying to interrogate the nitty-gritty of what we are being given in the report without assumption. Thank you for that alert. Honorable Member, a leader of Majority Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, our chair for today's session. I take this chance also to thank the CC member for agriculture, the committee that I am in charge of as a chair. And it is a committee I'm much interested in because my life, my economic activities are based on either agriculture as a farmer or livestock as a pastoralist. Honorable Chair, I say I'm grateful for the response. The responses are correct in a way, and in some case, I think there are things that we question because we are on the ground. One, I am very grateful that the ministry, the department, has a plan for the current situation. But there are a few things that we have always observed. You know, I have seen vaccination partners and all that. Honorable Speaker, maybe the CEC should also tell us what mode is being used to do vaccination. Because I have known this year, there is no vaccination that has been done in Katilu. And you know Katilu, Turkana South, and Aro carry the largest of the animal population. Because currently, as we even talk, heads of cattle from Loima are grazing together with the heads of cattle from Katilu, Kainuk. That is where we have Kakong, we have all those kraals. I am saying this because I have always noted that, like last year, Tupado did vaccination of a few heads of cattle in one kraal. That is one kraal in Lopur. The other year, the Department of Veterinary Services did vaccination of a few livestock again in Lokapet. So I don't know, Honorable Speaker, the CEC should also tell us if that is one way through which we can eliminate these contagious diseases, whereby we vaccinate a few heads of cattle from this kraal, we jump 3 other kraals and all that. Another thing also is that I don't know how reliable this data is, Honorable Speaker. The CEC should also tell us who is actually on the ground, because I have noted several times in Turkana South, there is contradiction. There are times when the officer that is in charge is put aside. Even during livestock distribution, I found out that people from the headquarters come to distribute. Even as we talk now, most of these places do not have those officers. How reliable is this data when I personally know that there is no vaccination that is taking place? And I know that if vaccination is not done, mass, meaning a lot of livestock, all the livestock in that area are taken care of, we shall still be recycling the disease and do that. Another thing is that how effective, Honorable CEC member through our chair, how effective is taking animal feeds to our town? Like, how effective will it be to take these feeds to a sale yard in Lokichar, to a sale yard in some place like Kerio? While in my life I have never seen these feeds being taken to Kainuk, being taken to Katilu, being taken to generally. Is it that there is enough grass there? And then another final thing is that, Honorable Speaker, Chair, our livelihoods in Turkana depends on 3 things. I take note of that. Our livelihoods is dependent on 3 things: fisheries, livestock, and we have agriculture, that is farming. Honorable Speaker, may the CC also tell us in this plan of handling the current situation, what is planned for agriculture? Since you find an irrigation scheme like Katilu had been allocated 20 million and it was removed. We also have some other irrigation schemes across the river that we had planned to have money allocated to, even in Turkana West. And this money was removed. I don't say that it was removed to be put in someone's pocket, but it was reallocated maybe to some other activities. How are we going to handle this? And I also believe that by empowering farmers, pastoralists, and fishermen, we would be reducing the impact of the drought, and we would also be reducing the number of people who depend on relief food that we give. That would also make the work of the public service department very easy, because it will not be everybody that is going to queue to get food. Others will be going to their farms. If seeds are given to farmers during this, rains have started. I believe that we are going to do that. So as I now finish, I think it is very important that the CEC member relies on honorable, respectable people to report to him. Honorable Speaker, I have been in this committee for quite some time. I have been a clerk to this committee since around 2016. And this is one department that is very unlucky for CEC to be taken to. Because the old staff there are always the ones that mislead the CEC members. They kept on misleading Honorable Ebey. They kept on misleading Honorable Erukudi. Even now, they kept on misleading Honorable Palia. They are even now misleading Honorable Dr. Erege. Because you know these things, they always give wrong information. There are even times when they interchange, they have two statements. We have a statement on irrigation scheme that is not working, and when we get the truth, they also give another one to him. They tell him, Honorable Daktari, it is wrong, we gave you a wrong one. Now this is the correct one. So I say, as I finish, Honorable CEC member, how will you manage the agriculture department if you are relying on people who give you lies? People who tell you that vaccination was done in Turkana South when it was not done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Let me give the senior DS.
Thank you.
Honorable Member, kindly, I want us to take care of time. I ruled that we should have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I want to join colleagues in appreciating the County Executive Committee member for Agriculture, Livestock Production, and Fisheries for the comprehensive response he has submitted to this House. Mr. Chair, I have a concern in one of the questions, that is the interventions. Mr. Chair, in the responses to the interventions, we've noted that the Turkana County government, in collaboration with the development partners like Tupado, AMREF, IRC, Concern Worldwide, are the ones who are leading in the interventions, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, usually it's the county government, it's the development partners which are supposed to supplement the county government efforts. But Mr. Chair, in this response, we've noted that it's the county government that supplements the development partners' efforts, because if you look at this response, it's the development partners who have done most of the interventions, Mr. Chair. So, Mr. Chair, and if this will not be corrected, we will be leaving the issue of interventions. We will be leaving the county government obligation to the development partners. And that is not the case. That should not be the case, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, on the issue of the disease surveillance, I want to appreciate the efforts of the community animal disease reporters. This county enacted the Turkana County Animal Health Act of 2023. And Mr. Chair, this act established the community animal disease reporters. And these CDRs, they were supposed to be provided with a stipend, just like the CHPs. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, the reason as to why we have some improvements in the health department is because we have the CHPs at that level 1. So they are giving a lot of support to our local population. So maybe we would want the CEC to provide adequate information to this House in regard to the stipend that was to be provided to the community animal disease reporters. And Mr. Chair, there is a new disease that has been reported, whose signs and symptoms seems to be new, and I want to believe the CEC must be aware of this. It's been reported in areas of Lapurward. There is a new disease whose symptoms and signs are very new. And I want to believe through the disease surveillance, this must have been reported, and efforts to address that, they are supposed to be put in place. Mr. Chair, I don't know from this response whether the current drought situation according to the department is severe, because the kind of the interventions, the ones that have been provided in this response, according to me, these are normal programming for this department. Mr. Chair, from where I sit, I see there are no efforts from the department or the county government of Turkana to address the current drought situation. I think according to Turkana County, this situation is normal. So, and that is why we see the kind of intervention that are being provided to our pastoralists. Mr. Chair, I have not heard of any serious stakeholder engagement, not even multi-sectoral engagement between, let's say, the County Department of Agriculture, Livestock Production and Fisheries, the Public Service Administration and Disaster Management, the County Department of Water, and all the related county departments. Mr. Speaker, I have not heard of any serious engagement that has been convened. Mr. Chair, I have not even heard of any cabinet meeting that has been called to address the issue of, or rather to deliberate on issues drought in this county, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, if such a serious engagement would have been there, I want to believe planning would have been done And this would have even prevent duplication. Some of the development partners which are said to be supporting the interventions, through those meetings, they would have been divided so that some of them would handle north, others will handle west, others Loima, others central, others Turkana East and Turkana South, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, in the absence of such engagements, in the absence of those planning meetings, Mr. Chair, we will achieve less. Mr. Chair, as I conclude, in the supplementary budget 1 for the financial year 2025-2026, we noted there was restocking in a number of wards. And Mr. Chair, one of the concerns that was raised last Thursday when we were considering this motion of county importance was the issue of livestock offtake. Mr. Chair, why would have the Department of Agriculture, Livestock Production and Fisheries, why would they have implemented or rather conducted livestock offtake to avoid the issue of loss of livestock that has been reported to be at the tune of less than 10%, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, losing 10% of livestock, that is not a small number. So the county department would have carried out livestock offtake to support those pastoral communities. Mr. Chair, is finally on the evidence of the use of emergency funds. If at any point through these interventions, if this department has benefited from the emergency funds due to the severity of drought in our county. I know some of these interventions, I just want to inquire from the CEC whether they requested for the emergency funds from the County Department of Finance and Economic Planning, where these funds are domiciled, to support some of these efforts instead of heavily relying on the development partners, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Honorable Elwood. And then I'll come back to this side.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, first and foremost, I want also to appreciate CCM for Agriculture for the responses he has placed before this House. However, I want to go, I have some few concerns, and most importantly on the interventions responses. Mr. Chair, Kakuma ward in Turkana West is one ward that is not reflecting in the interventions that are being directed by the Department of Agriculture. In my 3 years of in the office, I haven't seen the distribution of any ranch cubes or the feeds, animal feeds, in that ward. Does it mean that Kakuma doesn't have animals? Because the areas of Kalobeye and the areas of Letia, that area of Loreng, where most of our animals in Turkana West are being taken for that aspects of looking for grass. Most of these wards are not targeted when it comes to the distribution of these animal feeds. Turkana West is affected because of the refugees effect, and it must be targeted in those interventions of this department, Mr. Chair. On other aspects of interventions, if there was distribution of these feeds, may the CEC furnish this house with the list of beneficiaries or the villages that receives these interventions in terms of ranch feeds and other animal feeds, which villages or individuals benefited, which modalities of distributions were deployed to ensure that there is fairness in that distribution. On the other side, I want to appreciate the interventions of the partners. It is true that partners does complementations of the government programs. We cannot write them off, and we want to appreciate whatever they're doing. However, there is one group called Loyal Farmers Group in Kakuma, which has been vibrant and promising on terms of sedentary agricultural practices, diversified crop farming. In 2015-2016, Mr. Chair, Loyal Farmers Group produced 2 tons of quality groundnuts in Kakuma, and it gave this county, by then, the administration of time, gave a name, and as well energized the partners in their distribution and ensuring that they can also inject their support in the agricultural sector. However, as I stand here, Mr. Chair, this Loyal Group is now becoming obsolete. It has become that this area has been left without support. Neither, I don't think the department has a plan to revive this Loyal Farmers Group. I want to ask the CEC, what plans will the Department of Agriculture deploy to revive the promising farmers in Kakuma? The NGOs in Kakuma are many. That's why some of these programs are not targeting Kakuma ward or Lopuri ward or Kalobeye ward, because they say the partners are there. The partners are doing the list in Kakuma. They are targeting other outstations. They are targeting outskirts of those areas and leaves those areas suffering. In agriculture, Mr. Chair, you find that most of the interventions are done in the refugee camp. And they have killed all the promising farming or agricultural sites in Kakuma, in Lopur, in Kalobeye. And I want to ask the CCM, what measures is he going to deploy to ensure that the partners that we are now relying as a government today, or the effort of the government that is going to be injected to ensure that there is fairness and there is a revivation of these promising farmers in those wards, Mr. Chair. Lastly, there is one, recently we had seen some photos taken from a certain area in Lodwar regarding agripreneurs the agripreneurs were recruited in all our wards, according to the information that we got. In that information, they say 7 agripreneurs in every ward. Maybe I want to ask the CCM, was there an advert that was placed to recruit these more than 200 agripreneurs? Most of our wards, maybe I don't know whether the other members had the information, but from where I sit, there was no information that was furnished to the public. There was no advert to that effect, maybe, and if that advert was there, it was not widely spread. I reached to the agricultural, sub-county agricultural officers in Kakuma, in Turkana West, and none of them had an information of the same. To that effect, I want to ask the CCM maybe to furnish this out with the clear information of this agripreneurs recruitment across the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me give to the Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman, for the opportunity to also contribute. Honorable Chairman, first of all, I want to thank the CEC for Agriculture for his oral submissions. Really want to appreciate, because whatever he has presented with some bit of authority and very thorough, and it is evident that he commands, in terms of knowledge, he commands that department properly. Having appreciated whatever he submitted, and having gone through that report, Honorable Chairman, the report is not in consonance with what is on the ground, because we get in touch with every part of the villages within the wards that we represent. Honorable Chairman, we wanted to get strategies on how this drought can be intervened. About vaccination of over 200 livestock in the various parts of Loima and the various parts of the county, I have seen that Tupado and government, county governments, at least were doing something. We appreciate the development partners, but I also want to understand what was the contribution of the county government. The contribution of the county government, because they are saying in January 2026, you see, in January 2026, they were saying they are paying utilities. And I don't know where the department got something to at least contribute for this activity. Because what is in my mind is about, by then, the budget was not implemented. It was not being implemented by the departments. Their hands were tied, and they were only looking at the utilities. And you know, utilities, you only pay water, lights, and these other, electricity, and these other things, smaller things. So I don't understand that. Maybe normally I have known the CEC to be a very honest personality, but I want some clarification on that. Secondly, Honorable Chairman, is on on this emergency kitty. You know, we passed some law in this house that will address issues of drought during emergency. So this is the time to draw strategies on how a government of the day can handle this issue of drought. I want to get some information from the CEC on how much has been drawn from the emergency kitty so that the agriculture department can roll out the activities to handle this issue of drought. I just want to know what amount, because what is in our mind is that there is a lot of money in the emergency kitty. And if there is no money in the emergency kitty, we also want to understand what is the reason. Where did it go? Because we have regulations that govern that kitty. And then, Honorable Chairman, it's about intervention strategies to help us address the drought. So it's not about the normal routine functions of the department. So it's off the budget. It's off the budget. So maybe the CEC for agriculture, livestock development, and fisheries just give us the program for this drought intervention for your department, so that we are kept abreast of what is really going on, because that is the department that is the backbone of our community. So if we look at that program, then we'll be able to inform the community on the strategies the government is doing to solve the many problems that are there. Because many a times we have relied as a county on development partners to fill the gaps of what is there. So maybe how are we going to reduce the use of these or development partners? Because the development partners are now taking our functions as a government, and we don't want to do, we want to be in charge because we have the power as the government. So we need to reduce the over-reliance to development partners. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Majority. Honorable members, I only want to give 3 members so that we are able to give an opportunity for our chair to respond. And these 3 honorable members would be Honorable Appen, because he was on his feet for like several times. Mama ni moja because of gender, and then Lopayo. Then we will take another set after.
Thank you, Chairman.
Hold on a little bit. Very good.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, many things have been said many questions have been raised by my colleagues. And I have known Daktari, who is the CCM for Pastoral Economy and Fisheries, as an expert in veterinary services. And so the responses that have been provided, most of the responses that have been provided here are experts-based. And so many people have asked many questions, but I will narrow down to one of the responses on the livestock mortality rates. That is the last response, which is feed and water scarcity have reduced in most parts of the county, and most severely hit areas include Nakalale, Kairis, Lexon, Lapur, Kerio, Kangatosa, Kalapata, and Loima. Honorable Chair, I don't know where Kalokol is, because I know most people think Kalokol is a fishing area, but we have less than 10% of the people in Kalokol that are fishing. Most of them are livestock keepers. And so if you look at this response, you wonder who is lying to the other, because our livestock have, our pastoralists have migrated from Kalokol to some parts of Kairis, that is Morueris, somewhere there, between Lexon and Kairis Ward, which is mentioned here as a severely hit area. And then some of our livestock have also migrated to Lapur Ward, some parts of Lapur, which is also a severely hit area. Now you wonder which of these areas is severely hit. Is it Kalokol or Kairis and Lapur? Because my people have migrated from Kalokol to seek for pasture in Kairis and Lapur, which is also a severely hit area. Now I don't know whether the experts are lying or our livestock keepers are lying to themselves. So I think there is a problem somewhere. You are out of order, Honorable Member for Kairis. I don't know whether
Honorable member for Kairis, consult on a lot of and give him an opportunity to contribute.
Honorable Chair, he was talking to me. He was interfering on.
Yes, equally it.
Honorable Chairman, I know Dr. is an expert, but I think we need to be honest to ourselves so that we save the lives of our people and the livestock. And I think my advice to you, Honorable CEC, as you respond to my concern, you should also go back and call your team and let them be honest with you, because what is happening on the ground is much far different from the responses that are given. Though some responses are in tandem with what is happening on the ground, but some of them, like the concern I've raised here, because I come from Kalokol and I receive reports every day. So I think there is need for you to get back to those who gave this response and inquire further, if possible, because you are more senior in that department and you are an expert in that field. You ensure you help our people, because they are so much helpless. They require our interventions. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Ruth Kuya, in that order.
Asante sana Chairman. Ningependa kushukuru sana waziri wote wawili wamekuja siku ya leo hapa. Mimi kama township sioni mahali napatikana, sijui kama niko ama hakuna, kwa sababu mimi ninaitwa town na nimeonekana kwa makaratasi yote mimi ni town. Unajua town hakuna mifugo. Town ni maduka na unga na mapocho. Lakini ningependa kuuliza waziri, mimi ni town na reserve. Ukifika Napetet ukielekea ni reserve, paka na Kuruongora ni reserve. Town ni katikati tu. Ukienda upande wa Nayana Ankalalio ni reserve. Ukienda upande wa Chokochoko na Bwalipus, huko yote ni reserve. Mimi ninapakana na mheshimiwa Apemi wa Kalokol, huko ni reserve. Sasa watu wa reserve wamepata shida kwa sababu ya jina Lodwar Township. Waziri, sielewi ni watu gani wanachukuanga data sasa ile mbuzi zinakuliwa na mtoni, inakuliwa na maji. Sielewi ni kina nani wanachukua hiyo data alafu walete kwa ofisi yenu. Mimi ni kama hapatikani kwa network. Yaani jina Lodwar Township haipatikani kwa network. Ningependa waziri unijibu mambo kama saa hii mifugo zangu zote siko upande wa Kerio. Mifugo zote zimeenda Kerio. Ikirudi inarudi town. Sasa sijui mnachukulianga data huko Kerio ama kwa township. Mimi waziri nimeadhirika na saa ile mbuzi zinagaiwa, saa ile nyasi inagaiwa, hakuna mimi. Sielewi nyasi inaenda aje. Sina maneno mingi waziri, na kushukuru uniweke kwa data. Hapana kuwakana. Uniweke mimi kwa data ya mbuzi. Hata mimi jina ni town, lakini sijui niweke township na korua reserve ama kwa sababu town na maduka imeniumiza. Waziri, saidia mimi kwa sababu ni makosa sana. Wodi ya babu yako hakuna mbuzi napeanwa, hakuna nyasi napeanwa. Watu wangu wakipewa Kerio, wakipewa nini nyasi, wananiuliza wao unaongeanga na nene na hakuna kusaidika.
Honorable member, you are in order to use the language which is not.
Forgive me, Chair.
Please.
Forgive me. Kisame kana unisame. Sasa hii maneno imenifanya waziri leo kuja hapa. Haya, namaliza nikisema niko kwa waziri wa chakula. Waziri wa chakula. Bado waziri wa chakula. Sasa nimemaliza mjukuu, mimi nataka nyasi, mimi yote hata na dawa.
Proceed, honorable member from Loren Kipi.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I also want to join the rest of the members in appreciating the CCM for agriculture, the good Honorable Dr. Mike. I want to believe he has been a faithful attendee to this house. When some of the CCMs at times skip attending sessions of this house, he has faithfully been attending all the summons or invites to respond to some of the issues that could be there. Honorable Chair, the matter that has been discussed or that was discussed earlier this week has a lot of weight, and indeed it was prudent that we have the CCMs to respond to some of the interventions or plans that the departments have for this situation. I have only one concern to the CCM for agriculture, which touches on some of the areas along the cross-border. And I'm talking about our pastoralists who are across the border. We used to have a very good program called One Health Stop, something like that. Or in Turkana called Kemormor, which used to go across the border. And lately, the program has been doing its support within our borders, leaving majority of our pastoralists who resides in areas of Uganda. So how I wish this program is revived, and so that even our pastoralists who are in those areas can receive support from the government. In fact, there are reports from the counterparts. They think we neglected the people residing in those areas. Honorable Speaker, I also wanted to touch on much has been said on the issues of development partners. But Honorable Speaker, development partners are meant to support the government. So there is no harm at all when development partners chip in when there are gaps within the government departments. So, so if they have supported, then we should thank them. But looking at the report from the CCM, you know, all of us have ways of understanding the Queen's language because it's a foreign language. Not all of us will understand. I'm also not a very good one. But looking at the report, even in the collaboration between the county government and the development partners, you could see the Turkana County Vet Department in collaboration with Tupado. So which means it is the department that is in the forefront, and the partner supports the efforts of the department. Again, even AMREF, the vaccination of 100,000 livestock in Turkana North and Kibish areas, supported by AMREF and IRC, which means the lead person here is the department. And that is why it is true, the government must play its role. But if you look even at the national government, the development partners are so many because they complement the interventions of the government. So even here, we cannot say NGOs have taken a role, a very big role, but the government will always remain a government. It will play its role. It is a mandate. And so we don't need to talk about the department, the development partners have taken a very big role. They are supposed to complement the government. So we don't want their support or what? Honorable Speaker, lastly, I want to make two way forwards or recommendations. Number one, this house, there are so many things we've mentioned. I heard of offtake, which was not allocated anything in this current financial year. I've heard of, I also want to believe the CADRs were not allocated anything in this budget. They were not stipends.
Point of inquiry, Mr. Chair.
What is your point of inquiry?
Mr. Chair, I want to inquire whether the member for Lorenkipi is replying on behalf of the CC. I think the honorable member should raise the questions that he has in as far as the response has been given. The response should be given by the CC, and he should not be replying on the chair.
Thank you. Allow him to finish so that we are able to.
Honorable Chair,
Honorable Chair.
I'm not responding on behalf of the CCM.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm giving out information before I give out my recommendation. When some other members were contributing here, some even went beyond the scope of today's discussions. And Honorable Chair, my point is, when I said I wanted to make a recommendation to this House, because we want to run away from the fact that we are the ones who approved budgets. It is this House. So we cannot run away from that. So when we don't allocate funds for CDRs, it is this assembly. When we slash the operations and maintenance for departments, it is this House, not any other person. And so, Honorable Speaker, next time when we are allocating funds for very key programs, let's look at the budget. Secondly, Honorable Chair, as alluded by the Honorable for Lapur, we needed to have something like of emergency response task force as at now. So maybe the two CCMs can highlight whether we have one as we speak or not, because the situation is dire. Lastly, Honorable Chair, I wanted to mention this one because it is important. There are so many, when I saw the questions, or the question in the order paper, and then, and we know we have so many areas that we needed to discuss, especially issues of agriculture. And the good honorable member for Katilu mentioned that rains have started. And in areas of Urum, areas of Lorengipi, people are farmers. They do rain-fed agriculture. So I also wanted to ask whether we have seeds so that our farmers in those areas can start planting. Otherwise, Honorable Chair, those are my contributions. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. As I had earlier mentioned, these have become too many questions, even for the CCM to reply. I said we are only giving 3, which has ended with Honorable Opayo, and then we come to the next round. Let's be guided. Allow me to bring in the CCM member for agriculture to at least respond to those many questions as we proceed. Thank you. Yeah. Kindly, let's take this out seriously in terms of doing these deliberations. Have a seat, and then I want to invite the honorable member for agriculture to proceed.
Chair, then after the CICM respond, we still have questions.
I was very clear.
Okay.
There's still another round of questions to come. Let me take this opportunity to welcome CCM Agriculture, Pastoral Economy and Fisheries to respond to some of these questions as we proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and honorable members. Indeed, I must admit that the questions are quite a mouthful. And when you tell me, when you reliably inform me that there is another round still waiting, I only hope for energy so that I can be able to withstand the volume of work. Nonetheless, starting with the questions by the Honorable Lomodo, he asked about 10 questions, and I'll try to quickly go through them to the best of my ability. And I also promised the Honorable Committee that I'll be as truthful as possible. Livestock mortality rates, the question was on the 10%. Why 10%? He doubted 10% because according to the honorable member, it could be more than that, or how was it computed? In my presentation, I did mention that we have an electronic disease surveillance system. This is an automated system that relies on community disease reporters to key data at the field level. Then what follows that is automated workings that will deliver results. We have other underlying packages like, if you are interested, like SPSS, simple Excel. The system is able to compute. I'm lucky to have been part of this process. When I was Chief Officer for Livestock, we did introduce this system and we launched it with the former governor, His Excellency Nanok. So don't doubt the computations. This is accurate. So long as data is keyed in the field by the CDRs, then the other processes are well worked out. So 10%, honorable members, is reliable and accurate, and it's real time. Maybe it's even changed as we talk now, because you just need to go into the system. As you key in data, it calculates. So maybe as we talk, it's 9% or even 10, more than 10. So I have confidence that we are presenting reliable data. The other subsequent questions on training of staff on surveillance, specific information on hardly hit areas, the villages that benefited. Those questions, I think I will request for time to provide reliable, accurate, and truthful information, which I don't have now here. So this would be provided tomorrow. I'll feed back to my team and get this information, because data has to be accurate and reliable. On county government input, because we are mentioning NGOs like Concern Worldwide, Tupado, and the others, the question on county government input. There's a lot that the county government does. You know, when you hear that an NGO has gone out to the field and responded, one, the county government plays the role of planning, identifying the need. This is not tangible, it's just software. You sit in your office, you plan, identify a need, do a needs assessment, and then the second step is engage the NGO. This involves proposing activities and even doing budget estimates. Then you convince the NGO to buy this idea and provide the funding to the level that you cannot. That's not to say we have the human resource. We have staff available to do this work in the field. You know, honorable members, we pay salaries. When you ask what the county government is providing, even salaries for this staff to go and vaccinate monthly, it is an input. Because the NGOs don't pay salaries. They just give something small in terms of allowances. So, and the honorable member for Tackle Ward, who is my honorable member, I come from Tackle Ward, and a good friend of mine, I'm always very delighted when I see him. He mentioned that what exactly do we contribute if the budget was not even approved? But he added that utilities were approved at some point, and under utilities, we have fuel. So in some of these interventions, like the ones that took place in January, the county government provided fuel for mobility, which is an enormous an enormous contribution. But that's not to say that government is not planning to intervene. As we speak, we have awarded the tender for supply of drugs worth 20 million. And we are also in the process of awarding the tender for feeds. That is 10 million. So when these drugs are available, believe me, we can now come in as county government to take over from the parts the NGOs were doing. And as Honorable Opayo, the MCA for Lokiriama Lorengipi, put it right, we cannot restrict donors or restrict NGOs. When they have help for us, we take it because we participate in planning and doing the needs assessment. So we are always welcoming them because the development space is too huge for all of us. In fact, we need more NGOs, we need more government interventions to be able to address issues that affect the Turkana populace. So that is on government input. On the CDRs, evidence of meeting, trainings, I think I've said I will provide that. More accurate, more informative. When we use the term underway, please allow us to say the truth. When we say underway, it means we are planning. We are not doing anything. We have plans, and it's in anticipation. So that's why we use the word underway. So for our interventions, when we say underway, it's at the procurement process, and procurement procurement level. And procurement process takes time. If you do shortcuts, the auditors are on your neck. The ESCC follows. So sometimes we don't take these shortcuts because we have learned a lot. Sometimes you take shortcuts in order to address a problem, but you get in trouble with the law. So when we say underway, we are doing our best to deliver. On the distribution of rent cubes, again, the Honorable Omodo was asking for data, and I can confidently state that we'll provide this data tomorrow, showing quantities in which areas, more specific. And that is the same with the criteria used for distribution of these feeds. I'll get all that information in a detailed version. I transition on to the questions by the Honorable Abdi Fattah. The first question was on mortality rates. I think I've answered that. You are talking of one area. Maybe you saw 30 goats out of 100 dying. Somebody elsewhere saw one goat out of 100 dying. Another one, no goat died. So in data analysis, when you bring all this data together, you get an average. So when we say 10%, it's an average. Even the 35 is included. That's not to say we are losing sight of, or we don't know that some areas have lost more animals than others. So good observation there. On the issue of vaccination in Keris by Concerned Worldwide, I think as the other honorable members mentioned, there's the use of the word underway. It's in the plan. So we will be there. The Honorable Abdi Fattah reported that there are no officers to report on disease occurrences on the ground. But in their place, we have community disease reporters with gadgets. So for information, they just key in. We don't need, veterinary officers don't key in. They analyze at this other end. So that's probably why you're not seeing them collecting information. And just a quick one on Drought. Drought, in English or in the veterinary jargon is called hemorrhagic septicemia. It's a disease treatable by use of antibiotics. So when you see blood all over the carcass, that is hemorrhagic septicemia. And antibiotics, even off-the-counter antibiotics, can be used to treat. And that is a private good in nature. What that means is a livestock keeper can buy that drug if they are able. But when we get our drugs, if we reach them, we can as well treat. I transition on to Honorable Etubon's questions on the choice of a place to vaccinate. This is purely guided by the electronic disease surveillance system. When the data is keyed in, it goes in for analysis, then we see the red areas, the areas that are more in danger. That's why you see some areas we don't touch or touch a little, some areas we dwell there. It's the data that speaks to us. The reason why we analyze information or data is to be able to be guided on where to go. Today, if we decide as a veterinary department to go to Kerio, it's because in the analysis of the data from the field, we are seeing that Kerio is more serious or very serious compared to other areas. Not that we are neglecting those areas. So this is how we are guided. It's more objective. On the numbers, again, the Honorable doubted the numbers and wanted supportive evidence, which we'll provide tomorrow. And then on the point of distribution of hay, I'm aware that the national government provided hay just a week or two ago, and you know what? I think what needs to be improved is the way we coordinate with the national government officers, because when national government brings in goodies, there is that element of ownership at the national government level. So we are also limited on how to direct the intervention. So I tend to bring in the point the Honorable Ewoy, Michael, brought in that I think the talks between the various levels of government and the other stakeholders should be enhanced to improve on the approach in terms of distribution. So this is something I'm picking up for follow-up and action. The chairman of the Agriculture Committee, my chairman, mentioned that more funds. I think he insinuated that he will ensure that more funds will be allocated to agriculture, because he talked of funds being put and taken to other areas. So my very able chairman, this is a joint responsibility. I'll be by your side. Let's work together and ensure that we have more money to address the needs of our people. And on management of the Department of Agriculture officers, who I think in quote, according to the words of the Honorable Chair of Agriculture, give lies in terms of the information they provide. I've been in management for quite some time. I think it's something that I take note of. I will follow up because it's just management. And it will begin by the evidence. You know, when we ask for evidence to support any statement you make, I think that will be the beginning of managing the lies. But I don't know why I'm confident that my officers are very truthful and they only give truthful information. Without pouring water on your assertion, I'll still follow this up, just in case. I move on to questions by the Honorable Ewoy. My former chair in the finance committee. Always giving in very beneficial remarks, I must say. The first concern was why the development partners appear to be leading in the interventions. Honorable members, I've already mentioned, I've already shared with the House, with the committee, that we play a role in this intervention by development partners. But the reason why they appear to be leading is because of the delay, which the majority leader also mentioned, the delay in budget processing. But going forward now, we'll weigh in after purchase of feeds and drugs and play our part. So that's why it's appearing in my report that development partners are taking lead. There was a delay in the funding from our side due to budgetary processes, which the honorable members are aware of. On the CDRs, on the CDR's stipend, I can confidently confirm that there was an allocation of 20 million in the financial year 2025-2026 for CDRs, community disease reporters. And the plan is to give them 6,000 per month for 12 months. But the problem is, what we are still working on is the regulations, which I'm reliably informed by my technical officers that they are working on it, but I think there is need to put more pressure and move with speed, because we need this legal piece of legislation to guide in the allocation of funds. There are reports of a new disease that has been observed. I'm not sure whether it's new, but I think I'll be able to provide more information tomorrow, written information on this disease. They are called emerging diseases, and we are very keen on these ones because it can mean anything. When a disease is new and you don't understand it, it's good to move with speed and identify it so that we can be able to arrest the situation. I take note of Honorable Michael Ewoi's comment on how we should work, the collaborative approach, planning meetings, developing strategies together, so that we can be able to identify the specific areas where we need to take action in order to arrest the drought situation. Honorable members, I've been in discussion with my counterpart from public service and administration, and we are in agreement that we need to call for a meeting where our partners, our worthy partners, are brought on board, the relevant ministries are brought on board, so that we are able to critically understand what is going on in the field and be able to plan and take action. Even if it means going beyond the budget and asking for support from the emergency fund, that will be done. So a very good comment there, which we'll take into action, because a plan was already even underway to do the same. There was a comment on supplementary budget on restocking. You know, when we plan, mostly we take care of routine activities with the hope that the kitty that we call emergency fund will take care of any unforeseen emergencies. So for the case of restocking, and offtake, we did restocking as a way of boosting our stock. But now that there is drought, we will look the way of emergency fund to be able to address this unforeseen emergency. Sometimes it's realistic and not easy to plan routinely for an emergency. I think this is the purpose for the emergency fund. So I guess now you understand the reason why we did restocking and not offtake in our budget. We also take note of the comment on evidence of use of emergency funds. But for the Ministry of Agriculture, I am not aware of use of such funds. In case we use in the future, we'll provide backup, or rather evidence. The Honorable Eliud, the MCA for Kakuma Ward, registered that there has never been any distribution of range cubes in Kakuma Ward. I can't authoritatively say whether this is right or wrong, but I'll follow this up. If it is right, I'll provide evidence. If it is wrong, you will get feedback in the write-up we are going to submit tomorrow. We take note of the Loyal Farmers Group of Eyal, who produce groundnuts. We'll pick this up with my team and see how we can be able to help. On agripreneurs, this is an exercise that was undertaken under FSRP.
Honorable members, consult on a lot on kindly.
Thank you, Chair. That's a sign that the feedback is sinking well. It's a good sign. On agripreneurs, we have a project called FSRP. It's a national government funded project in the Ministry of Agriculture, and we wanted to encourage young professionals in agriculture to get into agriculture practice by giving them a stipend on a monthly basis and engaging them as early as this, because we want to be part of the paradigm shift from the routine livestock keeping to agriculture, especially in Turkana County. And the recruitment process that you're asking was done by the national government. The applicants sent the application straight to the State Department. What was done at the ward level was just verification and compiling. So maybe that's why you didn't see a lot of activity at our level. This was done at the national government, and we just gave support. And that support that was given was administrative. And it was done at the ward level by administrative officers at the ward, including the village administrators and the ward admins there. Now, to the questions by the majority leader. He made a general statement that what I provided was inconsistent rather with what is happening on the ground. I don't think that is the situation. I would request that we wait until tomorrow when I'm able to bring in data and evidence. I think the judgment is too early. You can't say it's inconsistent and I have not brought in the data or evidence. Maybe we wait until I bring evidence tomorrow and the data, so that we can be able to correct where we have gone astray. On vaccinations, the contribution of county government, I think I've answered that question through other members who raised the same question earlier. How much has been drawn from the emergency kitty? I think it's nil for the Ministry of Agriculture, but should that happen, we'll provide evidence. Program on planned intervention. Very good input. This is in tandem, it's in tandem with comments by Honorable Ewoy, and with the discussion we were having here with my counterpart from public service, that the gist of response is in a coordinated, multi-partner meetings, discussions, planning on who does what. First of all, what is on the ground? How is the picture on the ground? Who does what? So this is a good point that we are going to pick up, call partners for roundtable meeting, discuss on the needs, and plan and act, preferably with speed. The question by Honorable Appem on where we have put Kalokol. Kalokol is missing. But he mentioned that the livestock from Kalokol are in Kairis. And good enough, we had captured Kairis. So Kairis includes Kalokol. So they will be taken care of where they are. You know, Honorable Member, we move and look for our livestock. If livestock from Kalokol go to Kairis, we will get them in Kairis and we'll attend to them at Kairis. Unless you would want us to transport the animals back and attend them while in Kalokol. But the animals will be attended to. And this is a concern. This is a concern by the Honorable Member. He is representing a populace, and if they are missing, he has to raise it. So, the Honorable Appem, I take note. I will follow up and see whether there are even some of those animals who are still in Kalokol, so that they can be attended to in Kalokol. The Honorable Ruth Kuya raised a concern on township, the semantics, the naming. You know, township, she hinted that township locks out help. I take note of the fact that township doesn't include only the shops or the town, but there are adjacent areas where animals are raised, and we will also consider these areas during feed distribution and any other help to support the livestock sector. The Honorable Opayo raised a question on cross-border programs. Indeed, we work with NGOs to be able to address this problem, and I'm glad to report to the Honorable Committee that a few months ago I had the privilege of visiting our kraals in Uganda. I went to Kobebe and met our pastoralists from Loima and from Turkana West. Although those of Turkana West were far removed, somewhere in, I've forgotten the name of the area, but all those pastoralists are in Uganda. And I had a discussion with the Ugandan authorities and development partners who are involved in livestock issues. We agreed that we need to have periodic planning meetings and joint interventions. It came out clearly that from the Kenyan side, we forget our pastoralists once they enter Uganda. So from the consignment of drugs that we are going to get, we'll put in plans to be able to take care of our livestock. We need to make a contribution. But we would like also to thank the Ugandan government because they are really up to the task and they are helping us. Ours is to chip in. And honorable members, this probably points to the fact that when we are allocating resources for drugs, resources for livestock inputs, agriculture inputs, let's adjust the levels of funding so that we can take care of our communities within and without the borders. And the question on seeds for farmers, this should be timely because most of our farmers rely on rain. So the plan is to explore a possible way for a very speedy procurement process. And I've just engaged my staff, my officers, technical officers, and I am reliably informed that there is an engagement with Kenya Seed Company, that is government-to-government procurement, so as to speed up this procurement process. But I will explore even more ways of ensuring that we get these seeds in a timely manner to avoid the mismatch between planting and availability of water and rains. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable CCM for Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries for that response. As I just mentioned, honorable members, we are also running out of time. I will only give 3 of us. Okay, it's 4. And kindly, no, 1 minute is too. Kindly 3 minutes and go to the point so that we will have it done quickly. As I also, let me start from the only lady, gender sensitivity.
Asante sana Chair kunipa nafasi. Mheshimiwa Chair, nashukuru CCM ya Agriculture. Unajua kuwa waziri wa wakulima
Order, honorable member, just for, I wanted to allow our brothers, Muslim brothers, to go for prayers as you continue deliberating. Thank you.
Chair, nashukuru waziri wa kulima, mifugo na samaki. Ama wanasema na Kiswahili namna gani? Mheshimiwa Chair, kusema kweli, shamba ambalo tuko naye kwa Turkana hata wachana na mambo ya agriculture, ni mambo ya mfugo. Mheshimiwa Chair, mimi nafikiri CCM ya Agriculture, ile docket yako sahi nayo ni ile alisomea, mambo ya wanyama. Kwa hivyo, Mheshimiwa Chair, wakati budget inapotengenezwa, najua waziri ya wanyama anajua ni dawa gani na ni pesa ngapi na ni pesa ngapi anataka. Kwa sababu assembly atengenezi budget ya ministry yoyote. Sisi ni 1% ndio tunaongezea. Lakini vitu zingine zinatoka kwa hawa. Kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Chair, ukiona saa hizi, tukiuliza saa hii waziri, tangu alipowekwa kwa ofisi ya Agriculture, anaweza kuniambia amesunguka 30 wards, atupatie tarehe kwa ward fulani alienda. Kwa sababu unatakana ukiwa huko nje, hata kama MCA hayuko, anatakana wajue waziri wa wanyama ni nani. Ya pili, Mheshimiwa Chair, wakati tunaongea mambo ya directors wale ambayo wanawekwa kwa mawards, Mheshimiwa Chair, ukiona Lapur Road, sisi tunaanzia Lapur Road, tunaanzia mahali naitwa Kangaruka. Na Ninavyojua mtu naitwa Makori ndio ako Turkana North. Makori hana gari ya kutembea hizi maodi sote. Mheshimiwa Chea kujua ya kwamba ugonjwa gani kwa mbuzi. Makori ni mtu wa mashamba. Anaweza jua mmea gani iko hapa. Lakini natakana wale watu wako mashinani pale au amejua liwani ni wanyama wangapi aliadhiriwa natakana idungwe PPR. Louko iko wapi Mheshimiwa Speaker? Mheshimiwa Chea. Kwa hivyo iko vitu zingine ambayo tunalaki kwa waziri wa wanyama atuambie waziri wale wanyama ambayo wamekufa wakati wa mwaka jana mpaka wakati huu ni wangapi kwa kila ward 30 wards. Haya, ya pili Mheshimiwa Chea ni mambo ya samaki. Mheshimiwa Chea, tunavyojua kama Turkana North tuko jirani na wandugu zetu wa Ethiopia. Mheshimiwa Chea, waziri anaweza kutuambia ni boti ngapi ile hao alipeana imeshughuliwa na wajirani wetu wa Ethiopia? Ni wangapi ilishukuliwa? Kwa sababu lazima iwe na data. Kwa sababu iko siku tutaenda huko tunaleta statement hapa atuambie ni boti ngapi ilishukuliwa na majirani zetu. Mheshimiwa Chea, tukienda mambo ya agriculture. Ilikuwa ni samaki na mambo ya wanyama. Mheshimiwa Speaker, Mheshimiwa Chea, eti tumezoea speaker. Tukisimama hapa tumezoea kusema speaker. Mheshimiwa Chea, kuna mashamba ambazo ya county government iliweka kwa kila 30 wards. Sinafanya ama zimekufa? Kwa sababu sijawana mbegu. Tuko na shamba mali naitwa Kashoda. Kuna ingine hapo naitwa Nachomin. Unajua Mheshimiwa Chea, wakati ministry anapoenda kwa odi ambaye ni ya MCA, anatakana andamane ndiye ajue wakati statement hata sangine inaletwa hapa na wengine. Atakuwa amemsaidia na vitu zingine ya kwamba ilifika. Sasa mimi naweza pingana hatujapata nini? Hatujapata mbegu. Kwa sababu hii ni wakati wa mvua. Sasa hivi mvua imeanza. Mbegu imepelekwa. Hao watu waanze kupalilia. Sababu iko vitu zingine tunaona tu kwa sababu tunaweka pesa kwa budget. Waziri anatakana wakati anapokuja hapa tuambie budget ya wa samaki ilikuwa ni hii. Budget ya wanyama ilikuwa ni hii. Ya agriculture ni hii. Ndio wakati inakuja hapa tunaona kama ni kidogo ama tunaweza ongeza. Ni hayo Mheshimiwa Chea nilikuwa nataka kusema.
Thank you. I wanted to bring in Honorable Francis because actually he has tried for more. Apologies, our minority leader. Let Francis come before you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. This is a good discussion, and it is a very important discussion to our community because 90% of our livelihood of our people is in livestock, and especially livestock. In my ward, is 99% are just livestock. I want to thank the CECM, Dr. Eregai, for the good response that you have given to the question that was asked. Actually, you mentioned especially in Letia ward, I have not seen, you have not mentioned any area or any intervention in Letia ward. Letia ward is one of the ward that is accommodating animals from most of our regions, even from Loima, even from North, even from Loki. So it's a ward that has a lot of animals, and all the diseases that you mentioned from your report, Mr. Chair, the CC mentioned is all of them are available in that area. The CPP, the CBPP, PPR, and they are killing animals currently. People are losing animals currently. And the worst is Sesefly. You have not mentioned, there is no report on mentioning about Sesefly, the infestment of Sesefly, which has caused a disease that is killing our animals daily. And there is no report here. I don't know what's the problem. Is it the data collection that has a problem? Is not fair or what? Is biased or what? In the intervention, none. There is no intervention that has taken place in that area. None. And we have a lot of animals dying. Okay, maybe the data. There is a problem maybe with the community health promoters, reporters. Maybe. Because when you get them, when I interact with them, they are saying, Mr. Chair, they are like, they have not been trained. So maybe, I just want to ask a question, what can be done about that? Because we are losing animals and there is now new settlements. Those people who have lost animals have now come back and settled. There are new settlements in our area now because they have lost their animals. So they are trying now to start a new livelihood aspect of agriculture. Mr. Speaker, there is a problem there, and maybe that's what I want the CCM to maybe just tell me and the people, what are we doing about that? What is the, are we doing about that? Especially fly infestation, especially no intervention has taken place in Letia. Then the other issue is we are mentioning about vaccination. Vaccination. What about treatment? I don't know. When you vaccinate, that is prevention. But now we have animals that have got the diseases. What are we doing about the treatment of those diseases? The other thing is that, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair, Honorable Chair, is the issue of agriculture. We have the new settlement, and these people have gone for farming. Somehow, our land is somehow fertile. With rain, with water, sorghum grows and other things. But now the community themselves are the one doing that. I want to ask the ministry, the CCM, what are some of the activities that we can support these farmers, especially those who have lost their animals and they have settled to start small agriculture and support the seeds and other things. So that is basically what I wanted to ask. And the issue of development partners, we don't have any development partner supporting agriculture in that side of the area. So most of the development partners in Turkana are focused, concentrating in the refugee camp, especially Kakuma refugee camp and Kalobeye. So I think we need to find a way of guiding those partners also to go outside, to reach out to the communities that have coming up, are participating in this agriculture. Mr. Chair, thank you so much. I think I can stop there. Thank you.
Honorable Julius, proceed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I also want to contribute on the discussion of today, and I want also to thank the CCM for agriculture for the response of questions that he has answered. Mine, Mr. Chair, is about the area I represent, that is Kalobeye. Mr. Chair, since my inception to the office, that is in 2022, to date, I've only realized 2 teams coming to my ward for the issue of animal vaccination. And the 2 teams were from Kimoromoro, that were combining the registration of the death and the birth certificates and also the registration of the ID cards. And that process took place in the area called Nalapatui and Lokabuk. Mr. Chair, you really understand Kalobeyei how it is, especially during such a times like this one for the dry season. Kalobeyei has been the first ward that accommodates the animals of various wards like Keris, Kakuma, Lopur, where you represent, Songot, and even some parts of Letia. Mr. Chair, I really fail to understand the plans that have been put down by the ministry, because like now there is a very big congestion of animals, starting all the way from Nalapatui, migrating up to the escarpment of Uganda in search of water and grass. To that matter, Mr. Chair, we only have a very big disease that have been said by my counterpart, Honorable Ngimusia, which members have not said here. The issue of this fly called Sese fly. Mr. Chair, the issue of Sese fly, the Sese fly migrates with the buffaloes all the way from the Kidepo Park, where we border the Uganda in the other part of Turkana West. They migrate all the way from Kidepo Park, moving, crossing Oropoina Wuntos, crossing Nalapatui, going to Letia and Nakutongo areas. Those are areas where the animals graze. Now my question is, because it is something that it has been taken for granted, what measures or mechanisms that the ministry has put in place so that we can see ways in which we can eradicate the issue of Sese fly in that border? Because, Mr. Chair, it has really become a disaster to our people. Our people are losing animals every now and then, day and night. Our animals are being killed by Sese fly. So what interventions has the ministry taken? I have heard of the CCM talking of the intervention of the other side of Uganda people. I would want to ask the CCM to really fasten that process of intervention, because the other side of Uganda, there's a way those people are treating that issue of Sese fly. We need to have a team that will go and learn from there so that we may come here and rescue our animals. These other diseases that you have counted when I CCM, these are normal diseases that are able to be treated. But the issue of Sese fly has become rampant. How are we going to do about it? Number three, Mr. Chair, there's this issue that has been said by other members, the issue of involvement to anything that the ministries are doing to our people. We have been given mandate by the Constitution of Kenya. That is legislation, representation, and oversight. We would like to request the ministries, at the time they feast our people, for us to reduce these claims of every now and then. Let us accommodate all the offices in the process that we are doing, for us to reduce this kind of claims. If we can go that way, I think everything will go well. Lastly, Mr. Chair, is on the issue of agriculture. There is a time when we had bunge mashinani in Kakuma. I categorically insisted to the all members for us to reduce this issue of anger to our people. We have been given these small funds called World Development Funds. Why can we purchase or procure the tractors, even if it is 2 per ward, for our people to harvest, or not to harvest, to I don't know what language will I use, to farm. Let us buy, let us procure 3 or 2 tractors per ward. I'm very lucky. Sometimes when I see a tractor is being sent by the ministry to my ward there, you see it goes to AGM, where the people are doing that fertile work. They go to Mitiran. They do all that work, and the time tractor goes, we only wait for the rain. And you see our people, they are faced a lot of sacks of sorghums. Why can't we, for us to reduce these claims, claiming every now and then to the ministry? Ministry has other things to do, and we have also been given a mandate of other things to do. Let us think of that, honorable members, for us to reduce this matter. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, this issue of development partners, it is just my take to the ministry. There is a time like now, this moment, Trump has closed the money for supporting the NGOs. What are we going to do? Suppose these partners are not there, like the way you have been told. We need to have funds that are available for emergency. Like now, this issue of sassafly has costed my ward around 22 settlement centers, which I know the CECM for public and for disaster understands. There's a place called Ayeneglai. There is a settlement there, which even the government officers don't know. There is a place called Angseona. These people have resided there because the sassafly has finished their animals, and even the other animals were taken away by the bandits. There is a place called Lokachurutu. My people have resided there. They are hiding themselves.
Honorable member, be concluding, please.
These people are hiding themselves, even coming to the nearby places, only pretending they have gone for mining, yet it is their shame of the animals that they had. That's the fear they have. But no government officer knows that these people are residing there. Mr. Chair, for those few remarks, I sit. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I actually wanted to say, if you are given 3 minutes, let it be 3 minutes. We are even going to postpone because we do not have members now in the House. So, honorable member for Lexon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I would like also to contribute something on this for today's business. I'd like to thank the CCM for agriculture and his fellow partner that he has with him. On my side, I just wanted to say that if you see from Lexon side, Lexon, it carries a lot of practices done in Lexon Ward. We have got fishing, we have got agriculture practiced by the people, and we have got livestock. And from the response that I got from the CCM from agriculture, livestock, I've seen there's a target of mass vaccination hotspot areas, whereby I've tried to see all the sites that have been identified, but have not seen Lexon being a part of vaccinated hotspot areas. Because if you see my horde, it's being bordered by Lapur and also bordered by Keris. And you remember when you talk about Keris, Keris is a different horde. Keris horde, Lexon horde, Lapur horde. And if you see on my side, there's a part of my horde which are practicing, which the best practice activity done, it's livestock. Areas like Krekomor, Koksele. Those areas, they practice livestock at a very high point. So when I see the target areas here, and I don't see Lexon is a part of the hotspot areas, then I try to say why. Another thing that I want to talk about is field supplementary. I just want to know from the CCM that, do you know the number of, the amount of feeds supplement to be given to each area? Do you know the number of animals that are supposed to be given supplementary feedings? Then the third thing here is the issue of the agriculture that we are trying to talk about. I don't know whether the ministry itself knows the areas of Lexon that practice agriculture. And maybe I want just to inform him those areas, because he has to go and verify it himself and see if these areas are being targeted. Are they known? Because if you see in Koksele, they are practicing agriculture, Rekomor, Nachukui, Kataboy, Lower Rangak at a place called Nadopua, Todanyang areas that we are trying to see. It can be the best area that we can practice agriculture so that our people can get food, so that we reduce the issue of drought for the people to get access of having some food. Then there is the issue of fisheries department. I think on 24th of last month, I visited the office, whereby I was trying to ask some emergency fishing gears, where I was told there's nothing in the store. That the fishing gears that are here, they are for Kerio, Kalokol, and Lapur. And Lexon, as large as it is, there's nothing being catered for them. I just get surprised because if you see Lexon, it's one of the areas that are hotspot areas whereby there are so many fishermen that are practicing fishing. And you see these people that are being targeted in any fair corner. Imagine, remember, these school fishing, they move from a different place to another. Like they go to side of Ilaret, they go to side of Rilledaya, and when these people, they go there, they get the KWS, they are targeted, their boats are taken, nets are taken, so they remain with nothing. So whereby we need from the ministry itself, we have to have such a kind of an emergency, so that at least when we come there, because this is the only activity these people they are depending. And when you come to the office asking for at least emergency for them, at least they get even one net or two nets for getting their livelihood, they say there's nothing in the store. So kindly, we need to see how we can help these people. The other side that I want to say is about the issue of agriculture that we are talking about. What measures does the ministry take to those areas that, like my areas that are practicing agriculture? Which measures are you taking so that these people, they can access to their living?
Honorable Mesek, your time is up.
Thank
Be
you.
concluding. Honorable Rebecca Apai, kindly utilize your 3 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, maybe on my side, I will just take a small 3 to 2 minutes. Honorable Chair, first of all, I would like to thank the the member who came with this question. I want to thank the Honorable Lomodo. Honorable Chair, the reason why I'm saying I can take a short time, I know that since we start, the question that have been raised in this house is getting across the county. The question that as Lomodo answered, asked in this house is cutting across from Lobe Kwatar to Lokchogyo, or cutting across to Kerio. So at the moment we are now discussing, I am the only person who is happy because when the CCM of Agriculture, Pastoral Economy and Fisheries was given this department, I was the one who said, it is my first time to find a CC who has been given the department that has experience with. I was knowing that the problem cutting across Turkana County is now be cured because the CCM is a trained person, is a person who knows the problem of everything about the animals, about the agriculture, about the fisheries. That the department that we can say in this county that is now on the hand of a person who trained it. Honorable Chair, it is true. If Honorable from Kalobeye speak about the certain supply, those are affecting people there. As in Loima even, we have the same problem. We have the same sickness. We have the same hunger. So, me, myself, I know that the way CCM has responded that the data that you have been saying it is not here, he can provide it tomorrow. He can provide and you can make sure that is it true? The data of how many cows have been treated, how many people who have been moving here to here, how many personnel who have been moving around. I know they can be answered tomorrow. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Rebecca Epai. Honorable members, before I usher in our CCM member for Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries to answer those questions, allow me also to make some communication. I can see that we are gradually not meeting the quorum, and yet we have another CCC member for public administration to respond. I want to direct that the CEC member to come tomorrow, again, morning, as we push again the one for water services to the other day. Having said that, I want first to apologize because our CC member, Public Administration and Disaster, was here very early in the morning, as early as 8. So actually, all I would want to say is that from the questions and answers and responses being given by your counterpart, that is Minister for Agriculture, and then we are also going to draw a conclusion on some of the things that are going to be worked together as a county as you respond tomorrow to some of the issues and issues raised by our honorable member Lomodo. Having stated like this, I would want now to usher in our county executive member for Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries to respond to the questions raised. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think I'm going to be brief because some questions are related to the earlier ones that I was able to address in one way or the other. Beginning with the Honorable Abenyo, the question of movement, a requirement of the movement of the CCM across the 30 wards. Ideally, it's a situation that is achievable ideally, but practically owing to other commitments, it might not be able to cover all the wards, even thinking resource-wise. You'll need fuel, you need time. There are meetings in Lodwar, meetings outside the county, and what have you. So we try to rely on field staff. And in matters disease control, we rely on community disease reporters. So I can be honest with the Honorable Committee that I haven't been covering all the 30 wards for reasons I've just given. Then there was a question on the data. Where do I get the data? Have I gone to the ground to collect the data? The answer is we rely on CDRs. This one I took a lot of time to explain earlier. And on how many boats have been taken by our neighbors, again, that one I don't have an answer now. Honorable Abenyo, I will ensure that I'll provide this response by tomorrow. I'll also have to rely on other staff and even security personnel to be able to give me this information. The kind of agricultural support we can provide, we have seeds, we are procuring seeds, and we also plan to train farmers in the various areas. All these require resources, perhaps a pointer to the fact that we need to be boosting the budget on food security. From Honorable Francis Ngimusea, he pointed out that Letea ward is conspicuously missing as a hotspot. Perhaps it's what we get from our data, because the areas I've mentioned, it's the system that tells us there's a problem here. Not that there's no problem in other areas, but in terms of priority, which areas are hard hit. But one area that I know will bring Letea up the map, and most of the communities, even in Loima along the border, is this issue of Sese infestation, Sese fly infestation. During my visit, I did mention that I went to Kobebe in Uganda, and during my visit to Uganda, I interacted with livestock keepers, and indeed the issue of Sese infestation came up very strongly. And there's a lot we have to learn from our Ugandan counterparts on this. But in Kenya, Sese control is a function at the level of national government. So as a county, we have plans of engaging the national government, KARI, Kenya Agriculture Research Institute, so that we put in place together jointly control measures. The biggest way to deal with Sese is through control, not treatment. But through the kitty we have in the ministry, that is the 20 million that was provided for drugs, we will also try to purchase drugs that can be used in controlling Sese. But we have to join hands with the Ugandan counterparts, because they have handled this problem for a very long time. They have experience along the border on how to handle Sese infestation. On treatment of animals as opposed to vaccination, we have plans to treat animals countywide. Of the 20 million, some money will go into buying drugs that will be used for treatment of various diseases. So we will consider treatment and Letea for that matter. Agricultural support for farmers in Letea, the same as the reply I gave in response to Honorable Abenyo's question. We are purchasing seeds and we have training in the pipeline. Where applicable, we have tractors and we also support plowing subject to availability of resources. On development partners, I take note to the fact that there are a few development partners taking interest in Letea, and in our meetings with partners, I'll bring this up because it will involve developing proposals and also donors when they do what is called a call for expression of interest or call for proposals. They have certain geographical areas in mind. So sometimes it's tricky, but I'll bring this to the attention of development partners. From Honorable Apuron, Nalapatui. He has Nalapatui Lokabuk. Yeah, he underscored the fact that sesefly infestation is limiting production and is causing mortalities to livestock, especially cattle in this area. The answer is the same as the one that I've given for Letea. The answer is the same as the one that I've given in response to the question by the Honorable Ngimusia on yeah, the response is the same, that control is the area of thrust and we rely on national government this, but we are also procuring drugs that will enable us respond under the 20 million. You commented on purchase of tractors. Only I hope that the honorable members have taken note and that funds will be available to be able to support purchase of tractors, because this will go a long way in supporting agriculture in the various wards. Again, on development partners, my response will be the same as the one I gave to Honorable Ngimusia, bringing this to the attention of partners so that they can consider the forgotten areas of Kalobeye and Letea. Honorable Namesek, congratulations. Good to take questions from you. For animal feeds, I take note that there is need from Legzone Ward, which was omitted in my report, and that goes hand in hand with the concerns that were raised by the MCA Kalokol. You are neighbors, you are indeed neighbors, so that is a common concern. So I take note. On agriculture, we are more than willing and will plan to provide seeds and training for farmers in the areas where agriculture is practiced in Legs on Ward, mentioned Kokselei, Nachukui, Nadopua, and the others. So I've taken note. On fisheries, it's quite unfortunate that you went to the department and you are not able to get the emergency supply of fishing gear as you requested. But this is probably because of the fact that during budgeting, the respective MCAs in the fishing zones, I think, considered buying the gear. And it's a wake-up call maybe for you. I know you've just come in the next financial year. We will work together to ensure that we factor this in the budget. Because as the name goes, Legs on Ward, there's a lake nearby and fishing is paramount, is the backbone. That area, backbone of the economy. The Honorable Rebecca, thank you for your comments. On CECE investigation, comment you made on CECE investigation, I think I've already addressed it, that we are working on control measures as well as treatment measures in collaboration with the national government and with our neighboring government of Uganda for the sake of our people from Loima and from Turkana West who are there. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members.
Thank you, Honorable CCM for Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries for actually taking your time to respond and answer most of these questions. We've also learned that there's a lot to be taken from you people, and there's a lot that you've done. And having said this, I want to usher in the motion mover, at least to say or to respond into some of these issues, like 2-3 minutes, ideally, so that we are able to wind up.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, allow me to thank the Agriculture, allow me to thank the Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries. The executive orders do change each and every deal in pastoral economy. Executive orders that change the aligned government department. That is why I wanted to get the right name for the department. Chair, I think it is evident from the response that we've received from the CC, the intervention by the county government of Turkana is minimal. And most of the interventions that have been given are donor support. I think what I will urge the County Executive Committee, what I will urge the County Assembly of Turkana are two issues. On the side of the county government is, I think, to fast track the procurement of animal feeds, ensure that those animal feeds are given to targeted areas. Number two, they also need to fast track the procurement of drugs, vaccinate livestock, especially on the current diseases that are affecting our livestock, our pastoralists. That we heard about the PPR and all those other diseases affecting most of livestock. And this time round, we'll request the CC to focus into getting this vaccination into different kraals, having across the, because if you get those vaccines to those crowds. I think you'll be targeting now the right individuals. On the aspect of the key ADRs, I think it would be important that the county government fast tracks the issue of the regulation, get into this house in time, so that now the money that has been appropriated for giving stipend, the 6,000 which he had said, supposed to be given to community these reporters, ground be paid to them. The financial year is almost closing. That regulation will be brought to this house, I think. Anytime, God willing, next week or next month, we will be in position as a county assembly to prove that now we have motivation of those community. I want to get the right name. They are called community. They call the community. There is a right word I want to get. The community disease reporters. Honorable Chair, the next issue that I want to ask the department is on the motivation of the staff. You see, we don't want to come into real terms. The truth is, most of the staffs that we are discussing about, most of them are not on the field. The challenge is probably facilitation. I know the challenge may not be with the department. With the current supplementary budget which we approved, no DSA was removed to a larger tune. But the department should see ways on how they can motivate the officers who are now trying to intervene on the current drought situation. On the side of the county government of Turkana, the county assembly of Turkana, I think we need to appropriate sufficient funds to the issue of animal feeds, the issue of vaccination program, even on issues on how we're going to help our fisher folks along the fishing areas. You know, the effects of climate change are hardly felt around the lake. There is a lot of displacement. Like you, most people have been displaced around the lake. Most schools have grown. See, when there is that backflow effect, even the fishermen could not access the fish. They cannot access that fish. And you see, if their livelihood is fishing, then that is drought in a way. The hunger situation will also have increased around that. So the county assembly has to work directly with the department. And Waziri, I will request, budget is a political tool, all of us know. And it is not true, as I've said, that budget is a political tool. It's not true that it is the fault of this house. See, if the government will have the right priority on its people, the budget estimates, for example, are normally approved by a cabinet sitting. And after being approved by a cabinet sitting, the county assembly, using the current PFM regulations, the county assembly cannot amend more than 1% of the document that has been brought to this. So the issue that is very clear is, if you get it wrong at the cabinet level as a department, then there is no way even the county assembly is going to do a lot of changes. So there is need of we getting things right at the cabinet level, such that now all of us should imagine, like next week, we may not be having partners around Turkana County. And we should not cry about the issue of Trump. We have a government called Kenya, and we have a county called Turkana. Why should we be thinking about USA every day? Why should we be thinking about those other countries? So the county is sufficiently in position to address the current challenges that our people are facing. So it is all about getting priorities right. And Waziri, I know the efforts that You see, for Cynthia was asking, when last did you visited any of the wards? You just say that there are challenges to do with facilitation. Sometimes you may not get to a specific area, just probably you may be lacking fuel. Because probably vendors are saying they haven't been paid for time, they can't provide that other fuel without having the LPO. All those are challenges that I know departments are going through. But having said all that, Chair, tomorrow I will expect the CC to submit the documents which we have requested, that is showing specifically on areas where probably partners together with the county government of Turkana intervened on probably giving animal feeds, probably doing the vaccination. That data that shows specific areas, specific villages, I think it will help us to understand the status of a response that the county government of Turkana is doing. And finally, I've said on what the assembly is supposed to do. Finally, is the multi-sector approach. I think there must be now a committee, the steering committee, that is trying to sit down to address this issue of drought intervention, which I know that committee is normally county commissioner and governor. In this case now, it will be county executive committee members on specific areas of intervention. So it will be good that especially the three departments which we've touched on, up to including the finance department, at least come up with a steering committee. Like the recent meeting which the CS for public service convened. He convened a meeting where he had called even partners. He had even called county government. He had even called national government administrators into that meeting, even the political leaders. So there is need of having such a committee that is going now to give possible ways on how both arms of government, that is the county government, national government, and even the partner organizations can intervene on the current drought situation. So having said that, Chair, I am very grateful for the response which CC has given. I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Omodo, who is also the mover of this very important motion on drought. Honorable members, this indeed has given me a motivation that we are here for the concern of our people and the concern of the county. Importance, it is proven by having our CC members being factual in time to respond to most of these very important matters of the county importance, and also to have you seated up to this time. That one shows that this actually has been a very important matter. Honorable members, having said that, I still want to reiterate that I want to apologize for our member for Public Services Administration and Disaster Management for having come early and now trying again to appear tomorrow. This is because of how lengthy the motion has been and how much we've contributed. You can pardon us for that, and then tomorrow will also be a day. We are still learning as we want to fix this drought situation. Our parting shot has been actually alluded very well and spelled by our Honorable Member Lomodo. I would only want to insist that the Honorable CC member for Agriculture, Livestock Development and Fisheries to provide a clear data as he has actually alluded tomorrow. In that, we should have a data that is broken down into villages with a lot of quantification so that we are able to know how much are we doing as a county. I know much is being done, but without the data being seen, we might not even know what actually is being done. Second, I want actually to allude to the fact that the regulations is the key thing, and it is the opener for us to assist our soldiers on the ground to have this stipend. So now that it is originated from the department, I ask and urge that it should be expedited so that we are able to see these people also receive their stipend. And this will act as a motivation factor for our community assistant disease reporters to work. Something else that I would want to say is that with the coordinated approach that you people have with the national government, let's treat the CECFLI issue as urgent because we really need it to be fixed. And with your push, I know it's going to happen and it's going to be done. Komodo has also mentioned the issue of coordinated approach in terms of emergency. Now that the 3 CCMs are here, they will talk to the county government, who will liaise with the national government, so that we have a team that is active in terms of drought response. I know the data scientifically are talking of it being at alarm stage, and instead of us leaving it to fall into, it's already in alert stage. We cannot leave it to fall into alarm stage. We should also coordinate so that we are able to capture it in time. And also, there is an issue which has been raised in regard to the development partners working in Turkana West. They are concentrating their efforts mostly to the refugee. Most of the percentage is going to the refugee. They are forgetting that we have Letia Ward, extreme Letia Ward, extreme Kalobeye Ward, extreme Lopur Ward that are supposed to be also assisted. So given your office and guidance that you normally interact and coordinate with the partners, kindly advise them on where to, on the interventions they're supposed to do, especially to the wards around that area. Thank you, honorable members, again for having your time. And I want to ask our Sergeant at Arms to escort our CCM members outside as we will remain to adjourn. Thank you, honorable members. Thank you. Thank you, CCMs. Thank you very much for those questions that were well answered. Asanteni sana. Honorable members, I want again to thank you people for taking your time all this long to sit. We have no any other business to transact because we've actually exhausted what we were supposed to do. I now want to adjourn the Committee of the General Oversight till tomorrow again when we will have our honorable member for public service and administration. Thank you very much. Santeni.